Gentlemen, we are live here at Metropolitan. We are going to be talking about the most important thing in our kids' lives, our education. And you guys are masters of it. You have fantastic experience. For guys, if you don't know, Joe Goodman and Matt Kelly from Educational Adventures are going to be talking to us about the process, how they add value, and just how this wonderful world of education is being handled when you're abroad. So, gentlemen, can you please introduce yourself? Keep it pretty short, and then we'll jump into the questions because we got lots of them.
Perfect. Yeah, thanks, Victor.
Wonderful.
Thanks for having
Thank you very much, Victor.
It's great to be here.
Sure.
So,
I think
sure.
first of all,
my name's Joe. Oh, sorry. Go. You go, Matt. Sorry.
We must have a delay between us, but anyway. So I'm Matt, and I'm one half of Educational Adventures. I'm a co-founder, and I've been living here in Barcelona for 10 years now, working in the education system here and in the UK, and also experienced in South America and different places as well. So across the world, and now Barcelona is my home.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Thanks. My name's Joe. Again, I've been living in Barcelona for the past 5 years. I've got educational experience in the Central Asia, the Middle East, parts of Africa, and now in Europe. Like Matt, I've been living and working here for just over 5 years, and looking very much forward to discussing today how we can help parents and students navigate the course forward as they choose universities.
Excellent. So tell us about how it all began.
So I think this is a project that started for us a few years ago now. As you've heard, we've both been in the world of education in different places for quite a long time, and we've both worked across summer camps, managing and organising summer camps in the UK, and organising trips and various things over here in Spain as well. And we just found a need for parents and families and even schools over here were looking for more expertise and guidance on what they were doing and how they could apply to universities, how they could set their children up basically for the best possible outcome, starting from all the way down in primary school and then all the way going through to how they apply to university and making sure that they get those choices right along the way.
The only thing I'd add to that is that Matt and I's combined experience has really led us to create what we think is a really kind of unique consultancy in this kind of educational landscape.
Okay. Well, one of the things I'd like to get into was how you guys have evolved, because when I first met you guys, I understood that you were really focusing on summer camps, but it is a full educational consultancy. So I was hoping you could talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we started with summer camps because it was an area that Joe and I both knew quite well, and it was an area that we knew there was demand for in Barcelona and also in Spain in general. But whilst talking to people and whilst working with people about summer camps, we realised that there was actually a much greater demand, and families wanted the knowledge about which short-term summer camps to choose, but also on a much broader scale about how they can actually then set up their children for their educational journey for the next 2, 3, 4 years, and not just the short-term camps, but also how they can then look forward and work out where they wanted to go with their journey.
Okay.
Totally.
Anything you want to add there, Joe?
I would just say that, just to absolutely agree with everything that Matt said, that this is really a customer kind of led decision that got us to this point. We had great success with a number of our summer camps, and the parents kind of decided that and kept on getting in contact with us, asking for more about kind of the post-16 side of what they can do to really prepare students, their children, for that next step in their educational life. So whether or not that's preparing the students specifically at summer camps for certain types of university courses that lead in very nicely into pathways, or whether or not it's direct kind of help and assistance and consultation with the university application process.
All right. Well, I mean, one of the things that I wanted to ask, why is it so important now? Why is it important a time for families to seek expert guidance on university choices? And how is that different from in the past? Or were you talking, is it more of a seasonal thing that you need to address?
I think I mean, if you listen to the news at all, you'll hear the words that the world is an unstable place right now, and that doesn't just relate to politics. I think things are changing a lot in education. Brexit is the obvious thing to mention here in terms of the UK education system. Has really changed the landscape in students from here, and how they can apply, and the finances involved have changed a lot since pre-Brexit days. And then you've got new sort of players on the scene, if you like. The Irish universities are very popular at the moment, doing English-speaking courses. Holland, again, I know we're going to talk about in a bit, is another very popular one. So I think because of what's happened with Brexit, it's sort of changed the landscape for international students, and people are now looking at different places, and it makes it much more complicated. Before, I think it was just you get your A-levels, you try and get to a British university. And now there's a lot more choice, and there's a lot of different things to think about.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what
the
are
only
the
thing I would add
big
to that
challenges
is that.
for expats? Oh, apologies. Go ahead.
Sorry, the only thing I would add to that is that there's a lot more competition from other international players now. So from students from across the world now, there's a lot of competition now for university places in these countries that have got long historical reputations for excellent education at the university level. So making sure that students are picking the right course at the right university is really, really important, especially for international students.
Okay. And on that subject for international students, what challenges do expats and local families in Barcelona have, say, typically when they're navigating the university application abroad?
You go for that one, Joe.
So some of the challenges that we have heard from our local families are that university selection, university picking the correct university course is really, really tricky, because unlike students who live in the UK, students and families out here in Barcelona don't typically get to go to university open days. They don't get to see the different types of universities that the UK and other countries can offer. So navigating that from a distance is one of the biggest challenges in that we've kind of come across in the last couple of years of offering this service. So helping students navigate that decision of not only the course but also the type of university has been really key and instrumental in helping support families, and providing that support has been really rewarding for us as well.
Yeah, I think if I could just add, that's exactly as Joe says. I think if you've lived in Spain or in different countries and you haven't had siblings or parents go through the UCAS system or the system in Holland or Ireland, it is very complicated. It's confusing. There's language barriers sometimes as well for people living here. And it's a huge decision. We think it's a huge decision that the students are making to where they're going to go. And sometimes without ever seeing those universities in person, without, having all the knowledge that they necessarily need. So we're really trying to make sure that when students make these decisions, they've got all the information they can need. And that has sometimes, if we can, we also trying to build a program where we're taking students to visit different universities, which we'll talk about later, I'm sure, but just to give them that first-hand experience, because there's only so much you can learn online, I think.
Okay. Well, the next question is all of these resonate with me, because my daughter decided that she wanted to study abroad. That's the one thing that she knew. She didn't want to be here in Barcelona unless, that was more of a backup, if you will. But she was applying to very hard to get in schools in the UK and in the Netherlands and in, I assume, France, Germany. And I had no idea how to help her in that process. Zero. I got lucky that my daughter got some decent guidance at school, but I know a lot of people, even at the same school, didn't feel that they got the guidance that they were looking for. And my daughter, ended up going to the University of Edinburgh. That was her number one choice. in the UK, and she ended up getting exactly what she wanted. But I felt helpless in not being able to help my daughter. So in that, spirit, I suppose, what do you think makes the UK, the Dutch, the Irish destinations, the most attractive destinations for higher education for local families?
I mean, the UK's got history, it's got prestige. It's, there are students across the world who look to the UK, regardless of Brexit, I think, as sort of the pinnacle of the education system, particularly the higher education system. And I think Ireland and the Netherlands, as we said earlier, have really come onto the scene due to the costs that are now have to be incurred for EU students and international students since Brexit has happened. So Ireland and Holland, both wonderful places to visit, to live, and the fact they've got a really great range and a varied range of international English-speaking courses and different options, I think makes them very viable. And I think at a time as well, we haven't talked about America, which, as you'll know about, politically speaking, obviously America, being a foreign student going there at the moment, has got a lot of question marks around it. So the three places we're discussing, I think, have all got their attractions for different reasons.
The only thing I would add to that, Matt, sorry, the only thing I'd add to that. Sorry. Wonderful. So apart from obviously the wonderful weather that you enjoy in Northern Europe with 24-hour, wonderful sunshine, guaranteed sunshine so much of the year, joking, obviously, the universities that we particularly focus on in the UK, Ireland and the Netherlands really are universities that have world-class facilities, whether or not that's world-class lecturers, world-class university libraries, resources. The academic resources of these universities are not only they're not only historical, but they are genuinely world-class, either research facilities or teaching facilities as well. Moreover, the student life at these universities is absolutely fantastic as well. One of the universities that we visited on a recent trip was the University of Bath, where the sports facilities absolutely blew away the students. They really were fantastic. So, when you're applying to a university in the UK, Ireland and the Netherlands, you're not only going there for the historical and the prestigious nature of those academic institutions, but you're also going for modern, world-class resources and facilities as well, whether or not that's teaching facilities or student life facilities. One message that the universities kept on telling us when we were there was that there are all of the resources that you need as a student are at the universities. You've just got to go out and find them. So that's,
Okay. And so how do you support the families through the whole process, the applications and so forth?
I think as you were, you have a very good example saying, despite being, a fluent English speaker, it's still a difficult process for families to go through, especially in countries where they have no experience. And there are certainly schools are offering some support, as you said, but whereas in a school they might have 50, 60, 100 students to support her all trying to go through the same thing. I think where we can really shine a light and help these students is that we can really give them that personalized support. We can sit down with them. They can have the time to go through exactly what they're thinking, where they want to go, what their plans for the future are, with the parents as well, if necessary. So we can sit down with them every step of the way. And whereas in a school, you might get, one meeting here and then nothing for a couple of months and then something later. We really want to give the students feel like that we're just at the end of the phone line, at the end of the email line for anything they need. And there's different deadlines, there's different programs to apply through, there's different number of universities you can apply to, from depending if you're going Ireland, Holland, there's different finances involved. It's a complicated process, and we're just there to guide people through every step of the way.
Okay. And what is the benefit of working with a local consultancy like yourselves rather than going directly? Can you talk to me about numbers and percentages and how that translates into happy students and happy families?
Well, in terms of working with a company like ours, if students are based here in Barcelona, then we know the kind of educational system that they're coming from. We can really guide them through those next steps. We can help students not only locate the different and choose the different courses, but we're very familiar with the kind of educational system here based in Barcelona. So being able to take that local idea of that local understanding of education here in the city and in Spain more generally, it really helps us tailor each individual application for every student to the different universities and courses that they're applying to.
Okay. Are you able to expand on that, Joe? I mean, Matt, sorry.
Yeah, I think the key word, I guess, that we would like keep repeating what we can offer is a really personalized, bespoke, tailored. You can call it whatever you want, but that's what we can offer students that they're not going to get elsewhere. They're not going to get in their school. They're not going to get elsewhere, and we're able to assist with all those key deadlines. That application process. Just next year, the application for UK universities is going to be changing from the personal statement to a sort of 3-question approach, which is for families out here to know those sort of things is very, very difficult to keep on top of them. So that's our job. We keep on top of all that stuff and make sure that we know exactly what's going on, and when students come to us, we can really then spend time with them and decide what's best for them in a very personalized way.
Okay. And are there other services that you offer beyond the university application process?
Yeah, absolutely. Was the summer camps is one that we talked about at the start, where we really started out, and we still offer a range of summer camps in the UK each year. They range from sort of very academic ones, sometimes for older students might be at Oxford or Cambridge, where they're really focused on university preparation, to younger students might prefer like a multi-sports or adventure camps as well in different places. So there's a whole range of summer camps. There's football camps. There's one at Manchester City Football Camp, which we offer as well, which is a very popular one with the football mad students, and they get their English with that as well. So it's all about, depending on your level of English, whether you want the lessons, but if not, then you can choose sort of your area of interest and enjoy some time in the UK. And we're also looking, I think this year as well, to expand and see if students looking for semesters abroad and to study abroad, and that's something that we're looking at offering in the future as well. So all those sort of things we can offer.
Okay. And also, you recently organized a trip, right, out into the universities in the UK. Can you tell us how that worked and what the benefits are for the students who participated?
So we organised a trip to the UK. The trip lasted about a week. So we landed on the Monday, came back on the Friday. We visited 2 universities in London, Imperial and LSE. Then we visited Balliol College, Oxford. After that, we went to Bath University and then to Bristol University as well. And the trip was not only to introduce the students to the different types of universities in the UK, but actually get the students together with admission staff in each of those universities, because the nature of the applications what different universities are looking for when you're applying for those different courses can change slightly how one might approach the personal statement, or kind of what they start talking about in the answers to the questions that they're going to be answering for the next year. The students found it absolutely brilliant. It was a very full-on week. We got a lot done. It was also really interesting to show some of our students who had not even been to the UK before some of the different kind of cultural quirks. So we landed on the first day. On the first day, we also did a guided tour around London where they took in all of the sites. Big Ben, Buckingham Palace. We introduced them to some quintessentially British cultural kind of things, like a Tesco's meal deal, which did not go down terribly well. We also made sure that students who are at university are likely to use public transport quite a lot, we made sure that each student left with an Oyster card that they can keep and they can top up whenever they go back to the UK. We also travelled between cities on the public trains to make sure that students got familiar with that kind of system as well. But really the key side in terms of the academics was to get students in front of admission staff, talking with admission staff, and really discussing about their own personal kind of issues, what they're thinking about when they're going to be applying to universities, because they can talk with their parents, they can talk with ourselves as well. They can talk with kind of careers advisors at the schools that they're in, but really speaking to admission staff who are generally either students who are currently at the university or students who've just finished a course at the university, I think was that the students found really invaluable. And that's what we got in our feedback afterwards as well.
Okay. Then I have a couple of business questions I wanted to kind of get into. What is your vision currently for educational adventures in the next 1 to 2 years?
I think for really where we want to be in the next couple of years is the leading educational consultancy in Barcelona and in the surrounding area. We want to be the service that people come to when they need support, they need guidance on whether that's school choices, whether they're looking to go to the UK to study for a semester, whether they're thinking about taking a gap year or going to university, or whether they're 100% they know what university they want to go to, but they just aren't sure how to maximize their chances of getting in. We want to be that consultancy that they come to. And I think with the personalized service, the knowledge that we have, the experience that we have, we can really offer a very high quality service that is unique in that they can find this information online. Of course, you can get some information from your schools, but like we said before, I think the service that we can offer in terms of guiding students through every step of the way and talking to the families along the way is something really unique.
Okay. The other thing I had is how can people get in touch with you? And you say you have your website and you have different means to do so, but I was hoping you could make it clear for people who are watching how they can get in touch with you and what they need to have in order to be, you can advise them effectively.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So obviously we've got our website, educationaladventures.es. We've got our Instagram page. You can email us directly, info@educationaladventures.es. We are always answering emails with inquiries from different people. We get literally hundreds of inquiries every week, all about how we can help how people get their university applications together. So, drop us an email, visit our Instagram page, have a look through our website, and we will get back to you very, very quickly with how we can help you.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. Please get in touch. And if there's something that you're looking for in the world of education that you can't see on our website, please get in touch and we'll do our very best to help you as well.
Okay. Totally. And from, I guess, the community, the English-speaking community in the international schools here, who is your ideal client? Like, who is a good person that could really benefit from your services?
I think it's someone who's looking to get a real plan, an idea for their children in terms of families. We're talking here, someone who wants to plan for their children's future and make sure that they get the assistance and help that they need to get them into the university or wherever it might be that they need to go to. So that might be an expat family who have moved here from the UK and then they're interested in sending their children to a university in the UK or in the island or or the Netherlands, or that could be a Spanish family that are based here but have got a really keen to send their child who will presumably have a good level of English to either the UK education university experience or another English speaking course. Or that could be a family from any part of the world really that's made their home in Barcelona and they're now looking at next steps. They've maybe gone through the system at a concertada school, maybe they've gone through at an international school, and now they're wondering where the next step is once their children get to 16, 17, 18.
I see. Is it in my mind, I figured the natural best clients for you guys were children who were at the international schools in the Barcelona metropolitan area. Is that correct? Or are you more on the public side helping the Spanish students and the state schools?
So far, we have mainly found our students from the international schools. Most of our clients have come from the international schools, but we have had a lot of interest from the public system as well here in Barcelona. So we are here and willing to help and support any family really that are looking to get their students into to a UK university, a university in Ireland or in the Netherlands. And really, applications for university should really be, you should take a bit of a long run up with those nowadays. We need to start thinking about that. Okay, it's a move that will happen at 18 years old, but we have found that the students who benefit the most from this kind of service are 16, 17-year-olds who are making the decision about what steps do they take for what subjects do they need to be focusing on for IB, if they're in the IB program, what subjects what subjects they need to be studying for A levels. So 16, 17, about a year before they make their decision, well, a year and a half really before they make their application to universities is really kind of a key time where we can really offer our bespoke kind of our bespoke service to them.
Yeah, I think just
I have another question. Go ahead, please.
Sorry, I was just going to say, to add to what Joe said, I think the key as well to look at what we're offering is to really get the most out of it. It's a longer term relationship that we want to build. It's not a one-off phone call for an hour and get everything sorted. We want to build a longer, 6, 12, even 18-month relationship with these families where we can really help them in the whole process. So starting a little bit earlier, all the way through to when they actually go to university. So that would also be another, advice, let's say, to parents and families thinking about this, that almost the longer that we can work with the families and the students, the better the results are going to be.
Okay, that kind of gets to my last and final question for you. For those of us who don't really know what we're doing and we try to navigate this process alone, what is a common error or common errors that you guys see that people are, when they're going through the process, they make that could be easily avoided with your advice?
I think I'll start with one from my side. Is as simple as a missed deadline. I think you would be amazed to see how many people miss deadlines because they either see one deadline for one university or one country, and then they think that applies to all universities or all countries or all courses, and they don't get the place or even the applications off that they want to because they simply have missed the deadline, which again, it sounds something incredibly simple, but it's one of the many things that will help them stay on top of.
Okay.
And for me, an error that I often see and kind of has come up again whilst we've been helping students through the application process is students like to apply for some of the more prestigious universities. They really want to get there, but choosing the right university that chimes well with the course that university offers is a really key decision to make as well. So what might be some universities might be ranked number 1 in the world for example, chemistry or for economics. But really what we're looking for is to, help students make sure that they get to the right university rather than just the one that sounds the best.
Okay. That resonates again for my side because I didn't know when the application deadlines were. trying to understand the different, I guess, college or post-high school education options in the Netherlands always makes my hair stand up because I don't understand the different models that they have there. And yet they have excellent, I have a lot of students and interns. Obviously, the ones that I have are an excellent representation. Maybe it's not a great sample, but the sample I get are great people. But these tend to be children that have more privileged education. They have parents that are very directly involved in their education, so they want to help. I have a couple Ivy League degrees, and I wanted to help my daughters, and I had no idea how to do that here. So really appreciate what you do. This is extremely important after 18 or 12 years of investing in an education. To not have the proper guidance can be devastating. I do know a few students who thought they had, they thought they were doing very well here in the in the IB program, and didn't really understand how competitive it was to get into the Ivy Leagues, and also didn't really have a good plan B or plan C even. And perhaps having people who are experts in to navigate this process would be a huge value. So I'm going to continue promoting what you guys do, and I wanted to say thank you. So here at Metropolitan, we really like to add value to the people in our international community through interviews like this one that are desperately needed. And if you have anything else you'd like to say, I'd like to give you the last word.
Thank you. Well, thanks for inviting us on, Victor. I really appreciate it. And just wanted to just say that we really are, I think, as you've nicely summed up, that we're here to help. If you see us around, or if you have any questions, please do send them over. And like you said, I think often the thought is that people invest in education up to 18 and then don't necessarily think about those next little steps and assume that the school will sort it, or assume that the children will know exactly where they want to go. And it's an enormous decision where to study for university, if that's the route that you want to take. And it's something that we urge families to start planning early and get in touch, and we'll do the best we can to help. So thanks for having us, and we look forward to seeing you around.
Thank you, Victor.
Okay. Anything else, Joe?
Just to exactly chime in with what Matt said there, thank you very much for having us on. And if you ever see us, speaking to the families now, if you ever see us around and about, please don't hesitate to stop us. We're very approachable, whether or not it's even in the metro or anything like that. We're here to help. We're here to offer our services to all families. So don't hesitate. Get in touch. info@educationaladventures.es.
Perfect. We'll definitely put that in the text and the messaging. We'll get the word out. And again, Matt, Joe, really appreciate you sharing these great insights, and keep on doing what you're doing. I imagine business is great, so let's keep it going.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Victor. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to hang up here, but let's go ahead and stay on the line if you don't mind.